Let's see how both of these Americans perform. First up this morning here on Rod Laver Arena, McCartney Kessler to serve.
59. White, please. Go back to the normal lead balance, please. Thank you.
Coco, I've often found Jess sometimes a bit of a slow starter at times in matches and early in tournaments, and that's when I think if she can get on a roll and win 3-4 rounds, I think that's when she gets better. But sometimes I find her a little vulnerable early in tournaments.
To me, that's mainly with nerves, but also I think we talk about this in tennis. You play yourself into a Grand Slam. Winning breeds confidence, and the more you win, the more confident you feel. And especially at the first Grand Slam of the year, you're trying to justify all the hard work you put in the offseason. Maybe you did a technical change. Maybe you are trying to implement a new tactic. And if you win a match doing that, it just validates it. And the coach gets to keep his job for one more week.
Well, shout out to Mark Knowles and Mark Merklin are here with Jess. Did start the year in Brisbane. Jessica Pegula made the semi-finals, losing to Kostyuk there. Confident start here from the world number 6, Pegula.
And you can see just in McCartney Kessler's ball that there's nothing really hurting Jess Pegula. Look at where that ball bounced, right at the service line. For somebody that is such a rhythm type player, that just fits so well for Jess Pegula to be able to pick her target and go for it.
So that is the first break to Jess Pegula. Maybe a few nerves there for Kesler.
It's never easy to come out and play your first match on Rod Laver Arena, but to me it was the shot selections. You can play consistent tennis and be able to expel some nerves. For players, you should have your first 2 plays already planned out in your mind, especially if you're serving. I'm serving tee here, I'm going open court. My backhand's going cross, my forehand's going cross. Let's stay high percentage.
You can go high.
So one of the new...
Jessica Pegula.
If you can keep it in front of you, it's important, especially on that ball.
And you can see that you can, as a player coach, you can communicate with your player. Coach, in fact, sitting courtside, which was implemented last year here at the Australian Open. And I think, Coco, that really helped Madison Keys win last year's Australian Open. I thought Bjorn, her husband and coach, really did a good job of managing her emotions, where if he wasn't sitting courtside and wasn't able to communicate, I'm not so sure she would have got through a couple of those matches.
I completely agree with you. And in this case with McCartney, immediately going over to her coaching section to get some advice, to me is more troublesome than good. Because are you that surprised at Jess Pegula's pace and power? You shouldn't be.
Not after one game.
No, no. It's like, okay, you know, one game went by. We're not trying to beat out a clock here. Let's just play our way into it. It's one break. She hasn't consolidated it yet. And you have somewhat the advantage because your return is so much better than your serve if you're McCartney Kessler.
13-15.
And as you know, as a player and as a coach, you're having these last-minute discussions right before you walk on of, all right, let's go over the game plan, make sure we're clear, and this is what we're going to really try to implement in the first couple of points.
$14-15.
Mark Merklin there on the left. Coach of Jess Pegula.
That's a good tactic for McCartney Kessler to constantly have Pegula on the move. If you go too many times into one corner, Pegula's going to get the advantage because she is such a timing player. She can really just create her own rhythm if she gets a lot of looks at a backhand or a forehand. So let's test the movement of Pegula early. Because Kessler's not going to hang in rallies if we're just going backhand to backhand cross court. That's not where she wants to make her living.
Yeah, 114 km/h second serve, there to be punished.
And it sets a tone, doesn't it, Josh?
Yep.
When you start stepping on some second serves early in a match, it's even better when you make them, but definitely puts the fear in Jess Pegula. Oh.
Nearly, very, very nearly made that.
Advantage, Pegula.
Bit of a wry smile from both players. Anticipating this ball well from McCartney Kessler, and nearly got over Pegula's head on that overhead. Look how close this was. Just a little bit more.
Let for serve.
Well done, Jess Pegula holding serve. Tidy little lead of 2-love.
And this has been a new thing for Jess Pegula. She has slowed down her serve, trying to get it a lot more consistent so she doesn't have to show her opponents too many second serves. And you can see the dividends that it's made. 64% points won versus 68 this year. Now you're talking about Ks. I had to Google what that was in MPH. It's about 100 miles an hour and 95. So thank you, Google.
Oh. Love 15.
And it's a smart play for Jess because she is so consistent off the ground, and her ball definitely isn't one of the slower ones. She gets a lot of depth on her ground strokes, but she needs to not feel like she's under pressure and playing defense right away.
15.
Come on.
Oh, it's so good. Where do you rate this backhand of Pegula in the women's game?
15 and 13.
I'm gonna say top 5.
Yeah, right.
I would say so. I think the only ones that she's behind are the best in the world. Arena Sabalenka's backhand, Elena Rybakina, Coco Gauff,
Yeah.
Iga Swiatek. So I'd put her number 5 in that list, and you make your order as you may.
Yeah. She's got such great control, good with the left hand on it.
And the technique is just so sound.
Yeah.
This is trouble for McCartney Kessler, going far too many balls into that backhand wing. You see Jessica Pegula not even having to move off of the middle. Got herself in a little bit of a sticky situation, but watch the left hand. Just rolling on the outside of the ball. That backhand is mainly left-hand work.
Oh, that's trouble for Kesler. So it's a great start today here on Rod Laver Arena from Pegula. 3-love first set. You see it sometimes, don't you, Coco? Some of the lower ranked players, they come out and they maybe just, it takes a while to get settled, and just fractionally, I think she's overplaying Kesler. She just needs to be solid. It's not like Pegula's going to smack her off the court.
Right, in a lot of young players, you can take it in any level. You can take it from juniors, you can even take it to your local club of, you hear about, oh, how good this one player is that you're going to face, but you know what, sometimes they have to prove it to you that they're that good. I remember going out against Maria Sharapova at Wimbledon, and you hear about Maria, that the power is so massive. And granted, I played Serena, I'd played Venus, I'd played some of the other bigger hitters, I'd hit with Lindsay Davenport, and to me, the power wasn't as much as I thought it was in my mind. Sure, she still hit a big ball, but it wasn't quite like a Serena ball or some of those other bigger hitter names that you think about.
Okay, so it's a fast start here. Pegula leads 3-love. First set.
What would you be telling your player right now, Josh, if it being down 0-3, like where do you start?
Just basics. Get back to the basics. Just even as simple as, if it comes to your backhand, hit a cross court. If it comes to your forehand, hit a cross court. Pick big margins, but just refuse to miss. Just play your best shots. Try and look for your best shots and just play with margin and shape. Jessica hasn't, it's not like she's ripping winners everywhere.
No, yeah, completely to your point. And we heard a little bit from McCartney's coaching box of get some more height on that forehand. And you could see she's trying, but again, just still missing. Even if you can't make the cross courts, go middle. Just be like, Jess, go ahead, hit the winner. Prove to me that you're capable of hitting these winners.
Great stuff here.
30-15.
It's very hard if you're giving a good player, a top 10 player, a lead like this. You're not taking anything out of them physically and mentally. I mean, it's all too easy for Pegula here, so it's got to happen now here for Kesler. She's got to start making some inroads.
Ball.
That's just a ball you can't miss. Second serve. It's not like that serve is really moving all that quickly. Having played Jess Pegula myself, that second serve should be munched. As any player, even if it isn't your style, put that fear in Pegula that, hey, when you throw in that second serve, I'm coming after it.
Yeah, again, this is happening all too quickly in 14 minutes. World number 6, Jess Pegula, off to a 4-love lead here on Rod Laver Arena. Jess has won her past 11 of 12 meetings against fellow Americans, only of course losing to Coco Gauff. That was in the Wuhan final. So it's a good record to have against your fellow Americans.
I definitely felt like there was a bit of pride factor when you played your fellow Americans, and I'm sure other countries feel the same way of like, oh, no, I'm the best American when I step out on court.
That was not easy. That's straight up into the sun, that smash, but...
Love 50.
To your point there, yes, not an easy shot, but you're up a double break and you're just cruising. So there's no threat, there's no pressure. The hard shots become easy very quickly.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite. The zero stress on Jess Pegula, and just it's happening so quickly here for Kesler. She's panicking.
Just look at her face.
Yep.
And is trying to slow down here, which is smartly done. Take a deep breath. You can see her visibly doing that, because there's an old adage that I used to live by: is win fast, lose slow. When things are going haywire, you got to slow everything down, even if it is a little gamesmanship. Untie your shoelaces, retie them.
Oh yeah.
There's simple things that can just take your mind off of just spinning out of control. Because right now, what's going through McCartney Kessler's mind is, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is getting away from me. I can't believe I'm missing, and all just like spinning and spiraling.
Used this drop shot to perfection twice already in this game, and that is another couple of breakpoint opportunities for Pegula.
You talk about a different set of motion. This is almost Pegula toying around right now of, okay, now I have the double break lead. Let's implement tactics that I wouldn't normally play when I'm at 3-all, at 2-all.
And it's another unforced error, so Pegula is in absolute cruise control here on Rod Laver Arena, racing out to a 5-love lead.
It's time for 2 lucky fans to experience the Challenge Roads upgrade to VIP seats with no Grand Slam.
So you can see her contact point nice and early, gets it out in front. That's when she's at her peak, Jessica Pegula, I think. And then, of course, this backhand is irresistible. She can go down line, she can go cross-court with it, she can flip the lob on this side as well. So the technique is so simple, and it very rarely breaks down.
Yeah, and she gets that disguised with the shoulder turn. If you on the backhand, you really get that shoulder turn, show your back to your opponent, and it constantly looks the same for me. Good technique doesn't break down under pressure, and that's something as a young player you should always, and coaches should be implementing in their young players of technique, technique, technique. The game will follow, the plays will follow, but if you have bad technique, you'll see it break down, and that's been kind of the recipe for a little bit of disaster of when Aryna Sabalenka was having her serving woes. The technique is a little bit crazy. There's a lot going on. Coco Gauff having the forehand and serving problems. Even Iga with her own forehand.
$50.
That's interesting. Coach saying super aggressive.
I'm not so sure I would be. I mean, maybe aggressive physically with your footwork.
That makes sense.
She's got to try and find some rhythm. She's got to make some balls here.
Find something positive to go into this second set. Scoreline definitely doesn't look positive, but what have you done that was going well in this first set? Let's start pounding the legs, footwork, like you said, Josh. There's got to be something you can bank on to go into the second set.
That's long, so we have 3 set points here in 20 minutes. What a set, really. Didn't have to do too much, Jess Pegula, but she was rock solid. And the 6th seed will be loving life. 6 love.
Physio has been called over.
Every trick in the book she's going to use here. McCartney Kessler, I suspect, calling the physio just to try and slow things down potentially. The first serve percentage at 33%, that's not going to beat too many players. And then, of course, second serve points won at 14% for McCartney. She just needs to reset, wipe that set, and just start again.
Yeah, we just walked out onto Rod Laver. That first set never happened. You just got a good warm-up, 20 minutes in. We have to have something else to bank on at this point. And throughout this first set, it was just complete destruction from Jessica Pegula, just working the points, having plenty of time, not panicking in any situation, and McCartney Kessler just playing complete defense throughout this first set. She really didn't put any pressure on Jessica Pegula. Tried to play into the forehand, tried to play into the backhand of Pegula, and both wings were just rock solid and caused McCartney Kessler to create her own unforced errors really early in these rallies.
Yeah, it's stress-free here for Pegula. She's hit 3 drop shots. She's, as you're saying, Coco, it's almost like a warm-up for a match or a bit of a training drill. That's the emotion she would be feeling. So comes the physio onto the court now.
Reminder, these two did play doubles together, Jess and McCartney, yesterday. So we heard McCartney mention that she messed something up in doubles.
Yeah, just at the lower back.
Yeah.
Jessica Pegula had such a successful doubles pairing with Coco Gauff. They got to the #1 doubles team pairing.
Yeah, you're right, Josh. Taking a look at the back, the lower back.
Trainer who travels pretty much full-time on tour and is servicing all the players, so they would be familiar with any pre-existing injuries. Nicely watched there on the left by Pam Whitecross, who's one of the tournament referees here. So I'll just take a look and cruise around the grounds here, and it's just incredible what's going on around the facilities. It's a real day out for all ages, and of course you can do some online shopping there at the AO shop if you want. You just Right, you scan that QR code and you can purchase merchandise from your couch if you need to. If you can't get down here, and as you can see, it's pretty full already here on Rod Laver Arena. And that's where you can come in from the city entrance. Are you staying in the city?
I am.
Yeah.
I am
Did
staying.
you just stroll over that bridge?
Not this morning. It was a little too early to get me cruising, and plus I got rained on when I went to go get my morning coffee. So I was like, no, I'm not risking it. I'm hopping in the shuttle and be here. I'm just going to cruise over and be here in 10 minutes.
So we've got a medical timeout here. So that means McCartney will leave the court. She'll have 5 minutes. And that also means Jess Pegula can come over and have a chat to her team. She's well within her rights to do that.
That's it. Do it. Lean in on her. It's heavy, yeah. It's like she's gonna try to come bigger pace now. So yeah. I mean, no, but that's her normal. You were eating it up. Like, you're just getting in the court. Keep holding your position. That's you're good. Serving, mixing it up. You're back? Oh, hers. No, I think I have. This could be just a bluff. Yeah. No. There's nothing. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
So interesting, just Mark Merkel and coach there just sort of indicating it's just a break-up play. So these young kids, they'll be loving life, won't they, here at the Australian Open, all part of the Hot Shots program where they come on in, have a hit on these courts, get involved, and they are the future of this sport.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I love that the
this
Australian
is
Open
now
and
receiving
TA
a medical timeout.
does this. There's no better way to inspire kids to come out and play sports and be active besides seeing it live and in person and being able to feel the atmosphere of how cool it is. I remember the first time I saw a tennis match was Davis Cup.
Right.
I watched the USA men play Chile, and the atmosphere was unbelievable to be able to be a part of, and it made me want to play tennis more.
That's Grand Slam Oval as well, so that rocks as the day goes on as well. You can a whole lot of food and beverage outlets down there, and they have music, entertainment. You can sit and watch all the action on the big screen if you just have a grounds pass. So the grounds pass are just incredible value here.
I think the first week that's all you need.
Yeah.
It's honestly the more action happens out on the grounds throughout the first week at any Grand Slam level.
So well within her rights here to do this as well, where you can grab some older balls and just stay warm, which I think this is the smart thing to do, because once the medical timeout, which is 1:40 left, once that's up, it's back into immediate play. So you need to be ready, and I'm sure Pegula would want to keep this momentum for as long as possible. And as we heard there, Coco, I'm sure she's not thinking that there's anything serious with her opponent in terms of an injury. Well, we certainly hope not anyway.
You could even, when you heard that little coaching exchange, Jess Pegula saying, you know, she wasn't even really hitting that hard. And that just gives dividends to McCartney Kessler not being able to put any pressure on Jess Pegula. And if it's that open and honest feeling of, well, you know, she's not even hitting that hard. She's not even making me rush to any shots, even when she is hitting the corner or getting the ball deep. That's troublesome for McCartney Kessler, because then now Jess Pegula's like, well, you know, I kind of can, this could be child's play.
Where do you think Pegula's best chance is at a slam? You think it's the US Open, or you think here?
It's got to be a hard court,
yeah,
for sure. And she's openly talked about how she doesn't enjoy the grass. She's never going to be the Miss Clay Court player. And the funny thing is, I've talked to Mark Knowles about it, about the grass, because her ball is so flat and it stays so low that it would help the weaknesses or the shots that don't accentuate pace, which to me are her serve. Her serve doesn't really pop, and it doesn't move after it bounces. Yeah, she can hit the corner. You saw that out wide serve, but it didn't keep moving anywhere. And for me, the grass just accentuates.
Yeah, so it's a help.
Yeah, for sure. But she just mentally can't get over the hump. And there's some venues that you, as a player, you're just like, nope, it's never for me.
So just about to resume play here. Looks like there's no issue. Back from, they have those treatment rooms. They're located right next to this Rod Laver Arena, so the players can just go off into a separate private room and be treated. She needs to get off to a good start here, Kesler. Got to get into this match somehow.
Time.
All right, so that's a 10-minute break there. Last point played 10 minutes ago. So she has to come out, serve from the difficult end, looking into the sun.
Can we get the normal lead? $15.
That to me is Jessica Pegula at her best, getting a good deep return, nothing putting her under pressure, and then starting to open up the court. That's what she does so well, and what has gotten her to the top of the game.
$15-14. $30-14.
This might sound harsh, but you know Jess Pegula is thinking, if I get this break, there might, even if this is nothing wrong with her, that could entice her, Jess Pegula, sorry, McCartney Kessler, to pull the ripcord in this match. So Pegula's really going to be working hard to get this break.
Yeah, it's just solid. She's just gone solid through the middle of the court, and that's another break.
First game, second.
Go for a fresh racket. You just got to try everything at this stage.
See, my tactics would have been a little bit different to get my mind going elsewhere, but it's nothing I would recommend to the kiddos.
You would have smashed a racket. I know you. Come on.
I would have broken one by now. That thing would have been trashed in the bin. Maybe I would have tossed it to a fan. Actually, funny enough, last year I was in that oval grabbing a bit of lunch, and a gentleman came up to me and said, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "No, I don't remember you." And he's like, "Well, you gave me your cracked racket when you were playing to get into the quarterfinals. You smashed a racket, and you gave it to me. Here, I'll show you the video."
Oh, that's cool.
So just making memories in different ways.
59. 15 all. T15.
I think the hardest part for a player is keeping your focus. Jessica Pegula in this situation, because nothing's really keeping you going as far as you're not getting pressed in these rallies, so you don't have to stay all that engaged as to, oh, well, she's really putting pressure on my forehand, so I got to make sure I get my footwork. So you got to start focusing on simpler things, even if you are Jess Pegula.
And it's around about now, Coco, that you lose this point and you're down 6-love, 2-love. You're thinking, boy, this could be double bagel. And that has got to put some stress on you.
Stress. You're starting to feel as a player a little embarrassed
you
out
walk in-
here. I mean, it's so tough because McCartney Kessler has spent so much time to be prepared for a moment like this, and I've certainly been there myself, where you just fall flat. Nothing seems to be working for you as a player. Your mental fortitude isn't there, and you're just like, my goodness, am I really gonna get double bageled here? This is so embarrassing. Like, it happened to me at the U.S. Open. Sabine Lisicki, double bagel. I was like, my God, this is so embarrassing, and I couldn't have left that facility quicker.
Yeah. This becomes a big game here. Just hasn't been able to win any early points as well on serve, build any momentum. And that's a good start, and especially when you're 37 in the world, you're of course an incredible player, so you'd be thinking, how is this even possible? Yep.
30 40 love.
And that's got to feel pretty good for McCartney Kessler on the board here in this second round clash. But it's all Jess Pegula, 6-love, 2-1. That's one way to get here. You can catch the tram from the city. Plenty of tram stops littered all throughout the CBD. You just walk straight off that tram there and into the entrance, so it is really well located. It needs to be to get in over 100,000 people every single day here. Lucky they've got, the venue just seems to get bigger and expanded.
Time.
So Jess Pegula off to a really good start here. The first match of day 5 here on Rod Laver Arena. 6-love, 2-1 lead.
Love 15. 15 all.
McCartney Kessler played that in week 0, which is last week against Amanda Anisimova out here, an exhibition match. So she has had time here on Rod Laver Arena. She played the 1-point slam as well, McCartney. So she had a busy day that day. Didn't win the $1 million.
I mean, I'd go for the $1 million.
Yeah, why not?
I was too busy playing golf that day. Plus, I would have had to find a racket. I would have had to work hard for that 1-point slam. But what a great event to have to lead in to get everyone excited about the Australian summer.
I actually like where you're going. You're beating her by pace a little bit. Keep being aggressive like that. Let's go, Cart.
So here's a little bit of pressure now for Pegula.
Be aggressive. Yeah, physical points.
That's too good.
All you. Good job.
Yeah, it's getting her off the baseline a little bit. Right now.
They may have liked to have had that back again and just ripped the double-hander.
Advantage, Kesler.
Approach here for
So much better with your legs. Way to stay down there.
this one here. Probably could have hit that.
Yeah, maybe just messed up the timing with that leg court. Sometimes just not getting the footwork out of the way. Jess Pegula.
All righty, we're back in the 2 games all here. It's been a turnaround.
2 games all.
Now do it. Let's go. Come on.
Go right back.
Come on, Cart. Stay aggressive.
Love 15.
Come on, Jess.
And for Pegula, it's right back to work. It almost wakes her up a little bit to get broken. You could see the tactics haven't changed. Still getting great depth on the ball. No panic in this situation. You're the high seed. You have the experience of being in this situation. Now let's use it.
Wasn't sure she was going to get away with that in the end there, Pegula.
Love 13.
I wasn't really even sure at her thought process at this. The ball got a little behind her. I don't know. She lost it in
Yeah, it was an awkward one. It wasn't high enough to smash, and she thought it was too high to rip, but it was an interesting shot selection.
Improvise.
Oh, that's so good. Love how she cuts the angle off on the serve, goes forward.
See how calm and still she is in executing that shot?
Yeah, so Pegula gets the break back. So it's a 6-love, 3-2 lead for the world number 6.
Time.
So it was a quick first set here for Pegula, just 20 minutes. Got up an early break and we saw Kesler hit back, but now it is Pegula serving 3-2 with a break. Yeah, really good chase here from Pegula, but it's great to see Kesler still searching for answers, how to get back into this match and taking some risk on, prepared to come forward, and very tidy little volley right there.
That's a great thing about college tennis, that you have to play a lot of doubles in college tennis. Those matches in the dual sense matter, and so you get a lot more comfortable than most players around the net of where to stand, where to be. But right now, Jess is just showing that everything that she possesses is a bit of a different class than 30 in the world.
Oh yeah, it's a different ball game, isn't it?
And it's something that McCartney Kessler can look back on this match and be like, okay, this is what I want to be. Here's an example of how to do it. Because this is still, what, her third year on tour for Kesler, so still very green in a lot of areas. And it's just could be an example for her to be able to be like, okay, this is what she's done well. This is what she's improved. Maybe I can do the same.
Well, that's the beauty of this sport. I mean, she can play doubles with Jess. She can be in the locker room. You can hit with them. You can see what your opponents are doing. So it's a real opportunity, and I think she'll take a lot out of this match, Kesler, if she is to go on and lose, because Pegula has just been super professional. And that is another comfortable service hold, and we've just had a text message from Mark Knowles, one of Jess's other coaches, and he wants to hear a few more stories about you smashing your racket. Shout out to Mark Knowles.
My favorites were definitely some to remember. My favorite one would be US Open, where I was playing Bethany Maddox Sands to play Serena when she was going for the Serena Slam. That was a good one. I also Bo Jackson won over my leg. You know, I was a bit crazy, but good crazy. For the Aussies that don't know, Bo Jackson was a very good American football player and baseball player at the same time. And when he would get mad, he would take a baseball bat over his leg and snap it in two. Mind you, a tennis racket's a bit easier, so I'm going to give Bo Jackson a little bit more credit than what I could do with a racket.
Let for serve. No.
Yep. This is a big game here for Kesler because the clock is ticking and just so far behind on the scoreboard. Third ace.
But she's doing the right thing. Just stay in touching distance. Make Pegula feel the pressure, and it could just be scoreboard pressure. Yes, Pegula's up a break, but it's only going to be 4-3 instead of 5-2.
Yeah, the second serve points are just killing Kesler here. She's won 2 of 14, so when she misses that first serve, she's only won 2 points or match on her second serve.
But I guess that goes to my question to you, Josh, is where would you rank Jess Pegula as returner in the WTA?
Yeah, definitely right up there, of course. Has to be right up there with the very best. A little long, so
30-40.
Jess Pegula with another break point here.
And why Jess Pegula is a great returner is, one, she makes a lot of balls into play off the return, but even if she can't open up the court, which means she goes closer to the sidelines, she's getting great depth a good majority of the time. Even deep middle is always a great return.
Wow, that just drops in.
Jeez.
Now, how well has she hit her drop shot today? This has been a part of her game that I didn't realise was as good as what she's executed it today.
I remember an interview a while back where she said, what's the most underrated thing that you do well? And she said it was her slice backhand. And to me, I think now it might be the drop shot. Good disguise, holds it well, has good feel.
6 out of 6 today for Pegula on the drop shot. And that is another break here for Jess Pegula. A great day out so far. 6-love, 5-2.
Time.
So it's been one-way traffic today here for America's Jess Pegula. Just the match you want early in a Grand Slam. 6-love, 5-2, serving for a place in the third round. Oh.
59.
This backhand is a thing of beauty. Well, one of the best points here that McCartney's played all day. Just hasn't been able to string consecutive points together.
T15. T15.
So in just 58 minutes, it is Jess Pegula with a couple of match points. And that'll do it. Simply irresistible form today from the world number 6. Too dominant for her fellow American. Certainly not the best of McCartney Kessler. But so much to like about Jess Pegula today. She will love that performance, to get through unscathed. Very little energy consumed. And could this be the year that Pegula goes deep and has a real run and a real crack at the Australian Open?